Welcome to the Erica Russo Show, where we dive deep into the realms of personal development, spirituality, and the power of the mind. Join us on a transformative journey as we explore the art of manifesting the life you truly desire, all while listening to your intuition. Join host Erica Russo, intuitive life and business mentor and best-selling author each week, as we'll embark on a quest to uncover the secrets of manifesting abundance, nurturing a resilient mindset, and tapping into the spiritual dimensions that shape our reality. Each episode will bring you insightful discussions, practical techniques, and inspiring stories from experts and seekers alike. Whether you're seeking clarity in your spiritual journey, striving to shift your mindset, or eager to unlock your full potential, this podcast is your guiding light.
In today's module, we are going to cover vibration. Vibration. This is something that really kind of was the catalyst for me when it came to my spiritual awakening and wanting to learn more about the metaphysical and my understanding of how this actually works, right? How does one in physical form, how are we able to connect to those who have crossed over, who are no longer in physical form? And I believe when we have a general understanding of vibration and consciousness, it really helps answer all of the questions that I think all of us mediums have to some extent. And that is, how the hell am I doing this? Why am I feeling this way? Why am I able to see these things? Why am I able to feel this energy come close? It's very, for me, when this happened, we all have such a different mediumship story, right? A lot of us have known about this since we were born. It's a legacy or generational thing. Some of us never questioned it. And then others did. Others doubted themselves, including myself, for quite some time. And I think when we get back to the basics, like I said, of having an understanding of vibration, this not only helps us and our logical human minds, but I really truly believe that, I don't want to say the skeptic, but for people that question this, but for people that have more of a scientific way of thinking, this is a really great way of explaining it to them, right? Again, we're not trying to prove anything. But if we're wanting to have an intellectual conversation with somebody who maybe has never experienced a paranormal or supernatural or spiritual event in their life, this is really an easy way of grounding the information. Okay. I actually had this conversation 2 years. This is how I had a conversation with my neighbor 2 years ago. Unfortunately, her dog passed away. And the evening that her dog passed away, I literally saw the dog in its favorite spot in their yard, kind of just basking in the sun. And he would always do that. He would always face the sun and just give himself a sun bath. And I let her know that. She does know that I'm a professional medium and everything like that. So we went into a conversation of how this actually works. And I think with that communication and me being able to actually ground this and put it in layman's terms helped her in her grieving. Okay. I would hope, I think it did. I mean, she told me it helped, but I think when we're able to not only be the channel, be the messenger, be the tube, but also be a teacher of some sort, it makes us a better medium. It makes us a better person. It makes us really, do what we're meant to do. And that is just to make this place a little bit better. We're here to raise the collective vibration. We're here to help assist in the mourning process. And we're here to just simply help people. And if we can help people understand, sometimes that's all they need, is to understand something. They don't have to believe it, but maybe if we can help them understand, right? So when we go down to the nitty gritty, everything on, in Earth is energy. When we break down to the atomic level, I am energy, you are energy, your computer is energy, my glasses are energy. And what differs from a tree to a person, or a desk from a puppy, is the way in which it vibrates. Okay. When we think of everything when it comes to energy, we need to think of vibration. Okay. This is the reason why, if you ever, the good vibes only thing, we want a certain vibration. And when you meet someone, another thing is, like, when you meet somebody and maybe you just met them, but it's just, there is a connection there that you can't explain, and you just really like being in their presence. And I think that this happens few and far between, right? Where you're my person, right? I like your vibe. You're meeting their vibration. You guys are matching each other's vibrational rate. And that's why it's so easy for you to come together. Okay. So it's important for us to know that, because here's the thing. Okay. We all have our own unique vibration. We all vibrate at a different rate. Okay. When we are connecting to spirit, when we are doing evidential mediumship, what has to occur is the medium has to raise their vibration enough, hold the vibration, which, when we talk about sitting in the power, because you're holding that high vibration in order for spirit, say spirit vibrates up here, right? And we vibrate here. We both have to come together and meet a certain vibration in order for you to be open to receiving the messages, to be able to gain evidence, to be able to do what you do. And spirit has to be able to lower their vibration. Now, I've done enough spirit work to tell you that when it comes to spirit, whether that's transmediumship, spirit communication, whatever, having to lower your vibration, it's actually pretty hard, especially when you are not in a dense physical body. Okay. So it's a bit of a struggle for the medium to raise it to a certain level, but it's also hard for the spirit to come to a certain level. Okay. Because they don't have a physical body and all of these emotions that make it denser, that makes the vibration more dense in order to, do what we got to do, right? So with that being said, we have to be cognizant of our own vibration. We have to be able to recognize when our vibration is off, okay? And recognize that when we are going into any sort of spiritual work or evidential mediumship reading or something, we have to have a really fucking, excuse my language, sorry, if you've known me for a while, I curse, and I'm trying not to be better at it, but sometimes it just slips. Okay. So with that being said, we have to be very cognizant of our vibration. Okay. And we have to maintain it. That's the biggest thing. It's very, very important for us to be able to maintain a good vibration. How do we do that? Simple. We do things that make us feel good. Okay. First and foremost, eating a healthy diet. I know how hard, trust me, I love food, but this is something, and I'm going to bring this up. I go off on a tangent, guys. This is how I teach. So just bear with me, but here are the things. Okay. here are some things that you can do to increase your vibration, but also maintain it. Number one, make sure you're having a healthy, clean diet. Now, this is something I'm just going to throw it out there. I believe it was like 3 years ago, I decided to go vegan after watching Vegucated. It's a documentary. Don't watch it if you like meat. Don't watch it. Okay. So, anyway, I decided after watching this that I was going to try to go vegan. I went vegan for 6 weeks. Within those 6 weeks of strictly eating a plant-based diet, I noticed a difference in my evidential mediumship. I noticed a difference in my intuition. It was sharper. The psychic information that I was receiving was clearer. The connection to spirit, when I was blending with spirit, I realized, I noticed I'm very clairsentient. Okay. Everybody has their strongest clair. Mine is clairsentience. With that being said, when I was going into mediumship readings and blending with spirit, I noticed that it came quicker, like the blending with spirit, the connection, the evidence for me to confirm that I was with the correct spirit. And two, it was easier for me to maintain the vibration. Okay. This was when I was strictly vegan. I couldn't go that much longer without eating meat. So I did eventually end up going back to a meat-based diet. But I did realize in that experiment that it really does affect, meat specifically really does affect your vibration. I think a lot of it has to do with red meat as well. We also have to remember, if we're talking about energy, right, and vibration, the meat that we are consuming, we have to be cognizant of how, and this might be a little TMI, how that animal was killed. Was it killed in a peaceful manner, or was it smashed to death in some sort of way? You know what? I don't care. I'm not even, it's the truth, right? Don't watch Vegucated. Oh, there was things in it just made me so, ooh. Anyway, so when we are, eating meat, it might be best to just make sure that we're eating meat that, was raised correctly, that all of that kind of stuff, because how much antibiotics, how many chemicals, all of that, I do believe plays a huge part in vibration. And if we're consuming that, obviously it's lowering our vibration. So there's that. But again, I'm not telling you to do, you do you do what you want. I'm just saying from my own personal experience that it does affect your vibration. With that being said, drugs and alcohol definitely play a huge role in lowering a vibration. So, and everything in moderation, I always say, is good, because, we want to live a little, right? I enjoy a glass of Pinot Grigio just like the next person, but doing it in moderation. I always say, like, do not drink 24 hours prior to a reading. Just don't do it, because it's going to make it that much harder for you to raise your vibration the next day, because it's ultimately, alcohol is a downer, right? So you're working that much harder to get your vibration up. I know some mediums that abstain from any sort of alcohol. I know some that say 2 days don't drink prior to a reading. Honestly, you have to trust yourself and trust your body. But I always say 24 hours minimum, if that's the case. Another thing is, you really, trust me, like, this is also true. Be mindful of what you are consuming, not only in food products, but TV shows and movies and all of that kind of stuff, what you're watching, because that lowers your vibration. Okay. That definitely has an effect on your overall rate. So, and I'm not saying not do it. I'm just letting you know the deal. Okay. So being mindful of what it is that you are actually consuming. Are you watching true crime documentaries? Okay. That's a little morbid. Are you watching, TV series like Euphoria or something like that? And I love Euphoria, but I have realized that it puts me in a funk. Okay. So just being mindful of that, because it really is all about vibration when it comes to evidential mediumship readings. So another thing that you can do is connecting with nature, right? The sun, period, is a natural enhancer. It enhances energy. So, spending time outside, making sure you have the SPF and all of that stuff. But really, these are easy things that you can do that's not only going to help your evidential mediumship, but help you just be a happier, more joyful person. These are things to be cognizant of. So I always say, like, the more you work, like the more readings you do and the more you work with spirit and everything like that, the more you're going to realize your own energetic field and your body. You're going to begin to understand what works and what doesn't for you. It's your connection to spirit, okay? Nobody else's. You're going to learn all of that kind of stuff. You're going to be your own medium. And when I say that, it's so unique to be able to watch other mediums work, because there are some mediums that can paint a picture so vividly and so beautifully, and then other mediums are very good at talking and describing the person in spirit. There's so many avenues. And this is your connection, right? So you're ultimately going to learn through your journey what works for you and your vibration. Okay. There are things that, so much of this, when it comes to mediumship development or evidential mediumship development, it's learning as you go. Like, I don't think there's no freaking manual for this stuff, guys. Like, oh my God, there's no manual. We're talking to dead people, for crying out loud. There is no manual. You have to create your manual as you go along. But if you can always come back to, like, if you notice maybe you're in a reading and you're like, oh, the connection is kind of foggy, or it's not as good as I thought it was going to be, or it was like pulling teeth, or, ooh, I didn't like the way I felt, or it took more of my energy, or something along those lines. Always coming back to this. Okay, how does my diet look? What am I consuming? What is going on in my head? Another thing too is, I might even do a completely different module on this because it's that important. You really have to do the work. You really have to take responsibility for your own healing. When it comes to mediumship, at the end of the day, this can really open up a lot of doors that people aren't necessarily ready to see what's behind them. Okay. A lot of people who are extremely mediumistic can suffer with mental illness or depression or something along those lines. So being able to maintain your mental health and your well-being is so important, because unfortunately, I have seen mediums that have kind of really struggled with spiritual communication due to the fact that they had a lot of personal things that they didn't tend to. So really being mindful of that. At the end of the day, you're not helping anybody if you're not helping yourself. And being a medium is all about being of service. It's about being a channel. It's about being the messenger. Okay. If we cannot take care of ourselves, if we're not taking care of ourselves, I should say, we're not, I'm telling you right now, you're going to notice a difference in your mediumship. You're going to notice a difference in any sort of spiritual connection and anything along those lines. So be mindful of that. Put yourself first. Okay. There's so many people that forget that it's important to put your mask on before putting anyone else's mask on, right? So that's what we're talking about today. So I'm going to give you some journal prompts in regards to vibration. I'm also going to give you a mind, body, spirit checklist. What this essentially is something that I created a couple years ago that can help you go down to the mind, body, spirit checklist. What can you do for your mind each day, for your body each day, for your spirit each day? Starting to try to accumulate some sort of balance and flow into your spiritual and personal life. Okay. Always a pleasure, guys. Thank you so much for being here. And I will see you for module 5.